as you pour your coffee and make breakfast. Let's get you ready to take on your Monday. Coming up, an exclusive look inside a group of volunteers keeping Missoula County residents safe, all that the job entails and who's involved. Plus, a remote village in Guatemala was without power. That is until 14 U.S. linemen made the trek. Hear their story and hear the story of one Montanan who added to the effort. And Kevin Mackey gives us an extended look inside Missoula's butterfly house and insectarium in this week's Montana Moment, the insects and other natural neighbors that are crawling amongst us.
Well, the time is 6:30. Hopefully you had a nice weekend. We had some unsettled weather at one point in time. We had Homestake Pass kind of closed down due to a number of accidents from snow, and we got more snow in the forecast as we make our way throughout the day today and into your Tuesday. Live look outside. 28 right now in Dillon, 30 in Bozeman, 38 Missoula, almost 40 for you in the Flathead Valley. Wind fairly light, although Missoula, we do have that southeast wind at around 19 miles per hour. Showers moving in. We're going to see a little bit of this wet weather. Right now it's in Idaho. It's going to start to make its way into west central Montana through the morning drive. Valley rain and mountain snow. That's what we're tracking for the day ahead. Here's a look at your forecast this afternoon. 50 at 2 p.m. in Missoula. A couple of hit or miss showers still in the forecast for us this afternoon. For Bozeman, we're going to see temperatures in the 40s, close to the 50-degree mark. Here at 46 at 2 p.m. We'll be tracking an increased threat of some wet weather, but also a couple of isolated thunderstorms for the day ahead. However, our bigger weather story is going to be a round of accumulating snow. I'll tell you when and where coming up in about 10 minutes.
Missoula County Search and Rescue is a volunteer-based nonprofit organization comprised of members from all walks of life who come together as one to respond to search and rescue calls across the county. NBC Montana's Kylie Gibson met with a few of Missoula County's Search and Rescue's dedicated members. It's a story you'll only see right here on NBC Montana.
When a 911 call comes through the county dispatch line requesting search and rescue, Missoula County Search and Rescue members are ready to go. These volunteers are dedicated to missions across the county.
Typically, they'll reach out to me by phone and give me a quick briefing as to what the incident is, what the potential mission might be. With that information, we start to develop an action plan for how we deploy our members, when we deploy our members, and what specific resources are needed.
Then members receive a page on their cell phones alerting them to the mission, and they can respond if they're able to. Missoula County has 2 search and rescue teams, one based in Missoula and one based in Seeley Lake.
Sheriff's Office that oversees both search and rescue entities, we have the ability for members of either team to respond to emergencies more local to their specific area.
Missoula County also helps with mutual aid, a time where another county or another agency asks for additional help. And sometimes Missoula's crew asks other counties to assist them. Missoula County Search and Rescue does everything from water rescues to mountain rescues, avalanche rescues, and even body recoveries. So officials say their best preparation is good training.
We have certifications in swiftwater rescue, rope rescue, and avalanche rescue. We practice extensively for ground searches with a variety of means of insertion and extract. By that I mean snowmobiles, cross-country skis, ATVs, UTVs, boats.
While Missoula Search and Rescue's #1 goal is to bring people home safe, that's not always the case. Sometimes their missions turn into recoveries.
When we have recoveries that happen in an area that is very visible or very public, we try to give as much privacy to that person, to the deceased, as possible. And so that might include cordoning off certain areas. That might include developing a visual barrier so that A, the investigation can happen, but B, that people's privacy is respected as much as possible.
Search and Rescue leaves you with one last piece of advice.
If you're going to go out in the woods, it's always important to let someone know when you're going out, where you're going to be, and when you should be back. That's one of the most important things for us, is if someone's past due, that someone else is going to call for them.
Reporting in Missoula, Kylie Gibson, NBC Montana.
For additional details about the Missoula County Search and Rescue Team and how you can become a member, you can visit NBCMontana.com. The Electric Cooperative sent 14 linemen from the Treasure State to a remote village in Guatemala to help make a difference. The Montana linemen made the journey to Guatemala last month with one goal in mind: to bring power to the community. And getting power to this area was no easy task. The linemen went from negative 20 degrees in Billings to 70 to 80 degrees, plus the high humidity, which made it difficult to stay hydrated. Many other difficulties included the topography, the steep canyons for setting poles, digging anchors, and stringing the wires. The locals helped the team push on through.
Getting the opportunity to come over to a third world country that has never had power in this village, it's pretty incredible. These locals here, they are incredible to work with. There is a language barrier, but they're a great group of guys.
There's an 82-year-old woman here who's lived here for over 50 years, and she said she's been praying for electricity for decades, and God brought the linemen.
A partnership between the National Rural Electric Cooperative Association and the Montana Electric Cooperatives Association made the project possible. Crews worked to wire 14 homes and bring power to about 30 homes, including a newly constructed school.
Unique stories that define our state's character. Here's Kevin Mackey with this week's Montana Moment, brought to you by Montana Chevy Dealers.
They are some of the smallest of animals, essentially contributors to the health of our planet. We find them under the soil, hidden in plant life, and most visibly in the air. Graceful splashes of color that delight us with their presence. In our Montana Moment, Kevin Mackey with friends and neighbors.
At the Missoula County Fairgrounds in the Gerald W. Marks Exploration Center is a place teeming with thousands of life forms.
Well, welcome to the Missoula Butterfly House and Insectarium.
This nonprofit educational facility was launched by the married couple Glenn and Jen Marangelo.
It's something that we love, and that we love it together just feeds on it. It's been a lot of effort to get this done, and it's really become our labor of love.
And we just thought this might be something that Missoula would enjoy. And that started a 20-year journey.
Glenn and Jen showcase the wonders of some of our best friends and neighbors. Let's begin in the insectarium.
While we call this an insectarium, we actually have arthropods here. So in addition to insects, we have millipedes, centipedes, arachnids, which are spiders and their relatives, and we have crustaceans, which are things like roly-polies and crayfish.
Marvel at the size of the giant African millipedes.
This particular species that we have on exhibit is the biggest in the world. They can get to be about this big, so they are so impressive.
If you're intrigued with tarantulas, here is an impressive specimen.
And you can just see how beautiful this tarantula is.
There's a whole exhibit on animal weaponry.
It's like this huge beetle here has a massive horn that it uses to fight other beetles for the mating rights with the females.
The Vietnamese walking stick is a good source for predators if the predators can find it. Its defense is to blend into the environment.
That's one of the most important things that insects do in our world is as food for other animals. Montana might not be a very buggy place. They are just as amazing here as they are in the tropics. And so we wanted to show examples of some of the insects and arthropods that you can see in Montana.
The western black widow is native to Montana. Jen says it deserves respect, but it's not aggressive.
You're not going to find it out and about. You're going to find it in crevices and cracks. And if you leave it alone, it will leave you alone.
Jen says spiders serve a purpose.
Well, we encourage people to not kill the spiders in the house, in your house. They are good predators, so they are useful to have around. If you are uncomfortable with them, you can collect them and bring them outside.
So what we've got here is our family values wall.
While many insects just lay eggs and leave them for their offspring to fend for themselves, others care for their young.
These are jumping spiders. This is a species of wolf spider. The female will carry the egg sac around until they hatch, and then after the young come out, she'll carry them on her back for a number of days, maybe even up to a week.
We want you to feel a connection to these animals and learn just how important they are in your life and in our world in general.
There is more in the insectarium that we don't have time to explore because there's so much to see in the butterfly house. When we come back, flying colors.
And we now visit with Chief Meteorologist Brooke Foster, who is standby. And Brooke, snow. I can't believe we're talking snow. We're about to start April and we're talking snow.
I know, it kind of sounds like an April Fool's joke that we're going to see some accumulating snow around southwest Montana, but we do have winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings in place for your Tuesday. 6:40, let's take a look outside. Kalispell, Missoula, sending those kids. There's a bus driving through there in our Missoula weather camera. Sending the kiddos out to the bus stop this morning. Hopefully they had a good spring break in the Flathead Valley. This morning you're starting out at 37, 42 by around lunchtime, 47 in that 3 to 4 o'clock hour. Make sure you grab some rain gear. For Missoula, 38 degrees this morning. We're going to be in the 50s as we head into the afternoon. So valley rain and mountain snow, that's what we're tracking as we move through the next couple of days, and then a big warm up by the weekend. We'll have a look at your 10-day forecast coming up in the morning sprint.
It's almost time to flutter into part 2 of Montana Moment. Just ahead, we'll take a trip inside a room where dozens of butterflies representing areas around the world take flight. And let's take a live look over Missoula above TV Mountain at Snowbowl from the Community Medical Center weather camera. Chief Meteorologist Brooke Foster has your day planner right after the break.